What's good YouTube? Today I'm back with a new video, and today I'm going to be doing something pretty interesting. After watching tons of footage, I've decided to break down Flight's full 1v1 stats from 2022 and compare it to CashNasty. I will also mention their 1v1 record and Shotchart to see who really had the better year. Now if you guys get this video to 100 likes, I'm gonna do the same thing but with team games. Compare their stats, record, and even Shotchart when they play team ball. If that sounds interesting, let me know in the comments. Now without further ado, let's get into it. First, let's talk about Flight's overall game this year when it comes to 1v1s. Of course, you guys know that I already did a June Flight breakdown of his stats and shot chart. Sadly though, Flight hasn't improved much from June and probably got a bit worse as a player. To start, his offensive game is a mess. His shot selection is really poor as he always shoots with different forms. For example, there's times where Flight actually has a follow through in his shot, but then there's other times where the man does not even look at the rim and throws up some wild shots. At the end of the day, Flight needs to understand that he's 6'3" and that he should be driving 90% of the time. As a matter of fact, he actually has some pretty good layups this year. However, like I said earlier, Flight is inconsistent. He's too obsessed with the 3-ball to the point where he does not even take advantage of his matchups. For example, when Flight played Miles Brown, he didn't recognize that the guy is about a foot shorter than him and that he should be driving every single time. Instead, Flight shot a ridiculous amount of threes and ended up losing to this guy again. I mean, to take this into perspective, Flight shot 9 for 31 from the field and 2 for 16 from downtown. Probably his most disappointing game in a while. Now when it comes to his defense in 1v1s, Flight might be even worse. For some reason, he loves to turn his back every time he's guarding someone. He considers this move as a quote-unquote football move, but this is basketball and your back being turned is the worst thing that can happen to a defender. You cannot see what your opponent is doing and 9 times out of 10 you're getting cooked. However, when Flight does not turn his back on defense and actually has his arms up, he's pretty decent. For example, when he played Kenny, we saw how Flight used his height to his advantage and kept his hands up. That allowed him to get plenty of blocks and even get a few strips. It's all about consistency at the end of the day, and I hope that Flight improves that. However, to conclude this breakdown, there's something that Flight did improve this year, and that was his stamina. Like I said in my June video, Flight was pretty consistent with offensive rebounds and averaged close to 5 a game. I mean, that's how he gets most of his points in the first place. However, Flight needs to understand the difference between following your shot and a follow through. I mean, there's no way someone should be chasing rebounds every single time that they shoot. In 1v1s, you should worry about having the right follow through on your shot so you can build some consistency and even confidence. However, since Flight knows that his shots have really bad aim, he uses a lot of his stamina chasing boards. That technique makes him really tired, especially on defense, which leads to a ton of L's. On a positive note though, I saw that Flight's actually working out this year and working on a better diet. I mean, he even said that he's been laying off the trees, which is really good for his health. That's gonna help him a lot on the court too, and I cannot wait to see his 1v1s coming up. Now let's break down CashNasty's 1v1 games this year. To start, Cash's offensive game was pretty decent. Of course, due to his strong frame, Cash was able to bully his opponents in the paint and score a lot of easy points there. However, there's an issue that Cash is facing, and that is his footwork. Sometimes when Cash goes up for a layup, he does not know how to gather himself and moves his pivot foot. That usually results in a travel, which isn't good at all.
Is that not a travel?
Honestly, I just feel like Cash sometimes uses his strength too much to the point where he moves his feet too fast. However, with practice, I'm sure that Cash can fix that. He's shown glimpses of great footwork in the past against guys like Jesser, so hopefully Cash can get right on that. Now, something that Cash did improve though is his handles. Ever since he trained in the Mecca with B. Ellis, Cash has developed some nice moves. His hesitation is looking really sharp, has a nice behind the back snatch to a shot, and loves this double crossover. That's helped him to create a decent mid-range jumper, which I hope he can use more. Also, Cash has a really good technique to beat his defenders without even dribbling, jab steps. When Cash usually receives the ball, the first thing that he does is jab and see if his defender buys. If he does, then Cash goes for the layup, and if he doesn't, Cash launches that top of the key 3-pointer. However, the issue is that Cash has been sadly inconsistent from the top of the key. Since he isn't in the lab as often, his form can be messed up at times. It could be either his flick or shooting elbow affecting him. However, this is just more of a practice thing. I mean, at the the end of 2022, CashNasty see some improvement and even shot 50% in a stretch of games. Now to conclude this breakdown, CashNasty's defense is pretty decent as well. When he actually plays defense, Cash does a great job of moving his feet and swiping his hands to get steals. However, like I said, he can sometimes take it too far and turn into a bad boy piston. On a good note though, this is all part of his plan, getting in his opponent's head. Even though Cash's game physically may not be the best, he always makes sure to beat you in the mental aspect. That's what honestly makes him a dog on the court. Now let's get into both Flight and CashNasty's 1v1 record and stats. First, let's start with Flight. Throughout the entire year of 2022, Flight played a total of 14 1v1s. However, he sadly did not get a single win this year as he ended up with a record of 0-14. I mean, to take this into perspective, Flight is currently on a 21 game losing streak, so yeah, hopefully Flight can get some dubs soon. Anyway, some of his losses came against Donjay, Cash, Aiden, a middle schooler, and GeoWise, just to name a few. His worst game stat-wise was against Donjay on September 28 of 2022. In that game, Flight shot an absurd 9% from the field and 0% from 3 as he shot 1 of 12 from the field and 0 of 7 from 3. However, I feel like Flight's game against Aiden might have been a bit worse. Even though he shot a slightly better 14% from the field and 16% from 3, Flight has 6 total airballs in this game. Yeah, 6 airballs.
Ah! Why they gonna make one even hell? Oh my god, boy, what the fuck? 2 airballs in a row? Yeah, got you in it. That's 4. That's 4 fucking rims, bro. It's bullshit.
Look at me.
Is that 5? That's a lot of good enough.
Oh.
Not lucky. That's 6. God damn, you airball a fucking layup.
However, his best game stat-wise was against Jaidel. Even though he still lost, Flight shot a respectable 33% from 3 and had 5 points. Now, if you want to see the rest of the stats from the other games, it is on the screen right now, and feel free to pause the video if you want to see them. Anyways, to conclude this section of the video, Flight had a 2022 record of 0-14, and when you combine this with his all-time record, Flight is now 15-73 in 1v1s. Now, let's talk about CashNasty's 1v1 record and stats. Throughout the entire year of 2022, Cash played a total of 27 1v1s against some pretty good competition. With that in mind, Cash has a 2022 record of 12-15, with some of his losses coming against YPK Ray, Hesiod, MK, and BLs, just to name a few. His worst game stat-wise was against Hesiod on January 24th of 2022. In that game, Cash shot 22% from the field and 14% from 3, as he shot 2 from 9 from the field and 1 for 7 from 3. However, Cash still won 12 games, with some of his wins coming against Flight, Ken Wilder 4 times, Beatty, and Big Mac, just to name a few. His best game stat-wise was against Flight in June 30th of 2022. In that game, Cash shot 43% from the field and 47% from 3, as he shot 9 of 21 from the field and 7 for 15 from downtown. Now, if you want to see the rest of the stats from the other games, it is on the screen right now, and feel free to pause the video if you want to see it. Anyways, to conclude this section of the video, Cash had a 2022 record of 12-15, and when you combine this with his all-time record, Cash is now 75-35 when it comes to 1v1s. Now let's talk about both Flight and Cash's 1v1 stats from this year. In the 14 games that I researched, Flight attempted a total of 312 shots from the field and made 67 of them, which results in a 21 total field goal percentage. From 3, Flight attempted 165 shots and only made 26 of them, which results in a 16 3-point field goal percentage. Now with Cash, he attempted a total of 394 shots from the field and made 155 of them, which results in a 39 total field goal percentage. From 3, Cash attempted 235 shots but only made 67 of them, which results in a 29 3-point field goal percentage. Now to go even further, Cash attempted 204 top of the key 3-pointers but only made 60 of them, which results in a 29 total field goal percentage. Now let's take a look at FlightReacts and CashNasty shot charts. This right here took me a lot of time to make, so bear with me. As you see, Flight took a large amount of shots in this right corner but was sadly pretty inconsistent. Flight also took a lot of layups inside and was actually pretty efficient. If Flight could just do this all game, then he would definitely get some wins. And last but not least, Flight cannot shoot on the left side of the court. As you see, Flight only made about 4 threes from that left 3-point spot, which is awful. However, there's still room for improvement, and I hope that Fly uses this motivation to get better. Now with Cash, you can see that he shot a lot of top of the key 3-pointers and was sadly pretty inconsistent. However, he was really efficient inside as he scored most of his points there. And last but not least, Cash cannot go right at all as he only has 2 shots attempted over there. However, it's still clear that Cash had the better shot chart as he definitely had more greens than Fly. Also, his stats were slightly better as he even beat Flight in the process. And that pretty much concludes this video. What do you guys think of Flight and Cash? What overall will you give them in 2022? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and turn on those notifications so you know when I upload any new banger. I hope everyone has a great day. Peace out.